Welcome to a beautiful Friday on The Pulse. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle on your digital terrestrial TV because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, Parliament directs the General Legal Council to admit the 499 students who were denied admission into the Ghana School of Law as it urges the Council to discard its outmoded thinking and open up law school admission process for more students.
That the Ghana Law School must rise up in ensuring transparency and certainty in the way they conduct business.
We have details of what transpired in court today as the student who took the matter to court remain absolute that they will win their case against the General Legal Council.
Everybody is disappointed. I'm not the only one because looking at the distance people have covered as far as the north to just come and witness the first day of the sitting, and the case has just been adjourned.
Also this afternoon, we'll tell you the story of Asibi, a woman in the Northeast region who lost her hand because she was falsely accused of being a witch. We'll bring you snippets of our latest documentary, Finding the Witch Hunters, as Asibi pleads with the Ghana Police Service to give her justice.
I was scared of witchcraft allegations. The fowl said I was not guilty. The chief then asked me to go back to Sakogu and ordered that we use dialogue to settle our differences.
Plus, as the Ghana Premier League begins today, we pose the question, what's the state of Ghana football? We have experts' analysis on this matter right here on The Pulse. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilu, affordable, safe sanitation. Remember, we're also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles are JoyNews on TV. Tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. My personal handle is @Danana Aisha. Please stay for details.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Many thanks for choosing us. This afternoon, Parliament has descended heavily on the General Legal Council, asking it to discard its outdated thinking and open up law school admission process for more students. Some 499 students, after writing the Ghana School of Law entrance exams, were later told they did not make the pass mark. Deputy Majority Leader Fenyo Markins is accusing the General Legal Council of making the study of law unattractive, describing its actions as repugnant. We'll hear from the Deputy Majority Leader, but first, listen to the First Deputy Speaker, Jose Owusu, who has directed the General Legal Council to admit the 499 students who wrote the Ghana School of Law entrance exams met the 50% threshold but were denied admission. Jose Owusu also directed the Attorney General to ensure the full compliance of the directive.
Under the General Legal Council Act, the Attorney General is the minister responsible, and the law says that he may give general directions. I hereby direct that the Attorney General shall ensure that this resolution is carried through. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, even though there's a common thing that we are masters of our own rules, Mr. Speaker, having been groomed in this house from acting ranking to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the nation has enjoyed your experience and benefited from it. Mr. Speaker, we are grateful and may you live long.
Yes.
I can only say, prosperity will remember you. Mr. Speaker, history.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker must listen.
Let's proceed.
Mr. Speaker, history will bless you.
Let's proceed.
The laws of this country will remember you, Mr. Speaker. Leave laws.
Thoroughly, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have the motion has been moved, seconded, and adopted. Mr. Speaker, what do we do to ensure that the General Legal Council follow and implement the decision that we have just taken? If they fail, what will be the sanctions? So, Mr. Speaker, we should take note of that also.
We are not anticipating that. That's what I say.
Let's now go live to Parliament and speak with my colleague Parker Wilson, who's been monitoring events from Parliament for us. Parker, if you can hear me, tell me, how did the Speaker, or what led to the First Deputy Speaker giving that directive that the General Legal Council must admit the 499 students? Hello, Parker. Parker, I'm asking you to paint a picture of what exactly happened before the First Deputy Speaker gave that directive that the GLC must admit the 499 students.
So, first of all, there was the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Martin, who actually raised the concern on the floor of the House. Now, this was done shortly after he presented the business statement for next week. So when he was done, he raised a concern about the aggrieved law students who've been denied entry into the law school. His point was clear, that at the time he was a student, there were few of the papers that he really didn't do well. But because at the end of the day, he managed to secure the 60% mark, he was admitted into a law school. So the current action and position or approach adopted by the Legal Council is problematic. In fact, he described the action as repugnant, which must be dealt with immediate effect. And so he pleaded with the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Russo, who was actually the Speaker's chair, to ensure that at least the right is doing that. It appears members of the House already had issues and had their own concerns about what it is. Particularly, a former member of Parliament also backed Alexander Martin's position. And he actually had a very strong word for the Legal Council. Essentially, he said that what they were doing was, which objective is a case, and they need to review the thought process of how they admit to the law school. And think of the fact point that medical school or training someone to become a doctor is even more critical than training someone to become a lawyer. Because if you're a doctor, you deal with human life and you are able to save human life. So if medical doctor or the medical council even has a way of admitting more students into the medical school, why won't the General Legal Council also create a platform or a channel to admit more students into the law school? And so for him, what they are doing is not serving the interest of the nation. And as representatives of the people, it is incumbent upon them to ensure that they compel the General Legal Council to do what is right. And so he agrees with Afenyo Martin that indeed the General Legal Council should, as a matter of urgency, quickly admit the 499 students who obtained the 50% pass, because it's too much of dishonesty and insincerity on the part of the General Legal Council. If we advertise 50% pass mark for the student before the conduct of the examination, because for every examination, there are rules that guide the conduct of the examination. And so if you set the conduct of the examination and say that you need to obtain 60% of the pass mark, and they've been able to obtain the 50%, and yet you are using technicalities to disqualify some individuals, then that really marks of dishonesty and insincerity on the part of the General Legal Council. And so his point is go and admit them. So the other members of the House, Salah Mohammed, of Tamale Central constituency, Mahama Yariga, Dr. Nyako of Parliamentary constituency, and other members of Parliament who spoke on the floor, expressed the same sentiment. So the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, George Ewisu, then asked whether they should put the matter to a vote. So by voice vote, that he asked should the motion be admitted on the floor, and the ayes had it. And so the Deputy Speaker then directed the General Legal Council to ensure that the 499 students are admitted. And he proceeded further to charge the Attorney General, because the Attorney General is the minister responsible for that area, the judiciary, that he should ensure that the directive from Parliament is fully complied with. They do not want any excuses, and they are hoping that within the course of next week, the General Legal Council would do the needful and ensure that the students are admitted into the law school.
The first Speaker of Parliament, if the GLC fails to do this, what do we do? What was the answer of the Speaker of Parliament?
So the Speaker, in his words, indicated that they hope and they believe that the Chief Justice, who is the chairperson of the General Legal Council, will listen to good counsel, will listen to good counsel from Parliament. They do not want to get to the point where they have to cite the General Legal Council for contempt. And the laws of Parliament are clear. If you are in breach of any parliamentary procedure, you will be cited for contempt. And so they hope that they do not get there, because they trust in the Chief Justice that they will listen to good counsel. However, if there is a breach of the directive from Parliament, then Parliament will have no option than to cite the General Legal Council for contempt. But the Parliament is clear that they are not there yet. When they get there, they will cross the bridge.
Parker, what other business have the MPs been conducting in the House?
Well, so, Aisha, one of the topical issues, very controversial issue on the floor of the House is the anti-LGBT bill, which is being sponsored largely by Sam George. Now, the bill, we are learning that next week would be 3 months since the bill was presented to the committee and by extension Parliament. We are told that the members of the committee are even yet to sit for consideration of the bill. And the parliamentary procedure and the Constitution clearly states that a bill should not be with a committee for more than 3 months. And so on the floor of the House today, the Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Banda, raised the concern and asked what is being done to ensure that there is not a breach of the Constitution with regards to the 3-month deadline of the bill before a committee. Well, Afenyomakin indicated to the House that the committee sat yesterday and they are looking at the roadmap for the consideration of the bill. So they should be assured by next week that they'll hear something positive from the committee. So largely, the anti-LGBT bill plus concerns about breast cancer and the creating awareness for the cancer also was on the floor when Dr. Nyako raised the issue of Parliament for Parliament. So made a statement to the effect that it's important that members of Parliament go to their constituencies and Ghanaians as a whole and medical doctors also give the necessary education, especially to our young women, to understand the essence of constantly checking for breast cancer. And so these are some of the issues that came to the floor of the House today.
Parker Wilson is my colleague in Parliament for us. Meanwhile, the students of law who wrote the entrance exams and were not given admission are hopeful of winning their case against the General Legal Council. You recall they sued the school for changing the admission requirements as against the rules initially communicated. Today, at the Human Rights Division of the High Court of Justice, the initial case of interlocutory injunction has been adjourned to November 9. Convener for the group, Daniel Nenesaki, explains the Attorney General requested for the adjournment so it can respond to the interlocutory injunction case. But before we listen to him, some of the students who have been speaking with JoyNews say they are disappointed but remain hopeful they will get justice.
Everybody is disappointed. I'm not the only one, because looking at the distance people have covered as far as the north to just come and witness the first day of the sitting, and the case has just been adjourned to the 9th of November. Our expectation was that, being a human rights case, we would get a speedy trial so that we can continue class just like our colleagues who are in school. It's unfortunate. What we can do now is to appeal to the powers that be to give this case all the attention that it deserves, so that we will bring finality to this. We pray for the best, and we hope that justice will be served.
In fact, that is really sad, because we know very well that we have passed an examination, which we know from time immemorial, the pass mark has been 50 and above. That is not a battle. That is not a war. They are our fathers. We are only saying that we believe genuinely that we have passed. So they should let us in. And at the end of the day, Ghana will win.
I don't think it's bad in itself. It's a process. We believe in the legal process. So if the case has been adjourned and we are being asked to come next week, on the 9th, why not? We know we'll get justice for the 499. I'm very calm. I'm very certain that justice will be served. So I'm not really worried about the adjournment. It's a process. It's a legal process. So be it what may, it's fine with me.
My name is Ellen. I'm one of the 499. I think the adjournment, they've spoken to our lawyer, Mfantsipim, and everything is in order. So we'll wait till the 9th and proceed from there. But what can we do? That's the courts. We cannot go against them. We are waiting. We'll still wait. And we are hoping that will be admitted.
Here's convener for the group, Daniel Nenesaki.
Attorney General didn't file any response yet. They were in court. The GLC only filed their response. We've been served with their response this morning. But that notwithstanding, our lawyer is not proposing, wasn't proposing any adjournment. It is the Attorney General that proposed that the case be adjourned. And our lawyer agreed to it. The case has been adjourned to the 9th of November. We will be back here to go into the merits of the injunction application. You see, it is human rights that we are talking about here. We are talking about the rights of 499 students. So delay in itself is a bit worrying, but I don't think, even though irreparable damage is being caused, because our colleagues are reopening school, and we think that justice will be served. That's what matters. Whichever way, we believe in the justice system, in the court system, and we know that we'll have justice.
Joining me in the studio for this conversation is Daniel Nenesaki, who is the convener for the group, and also, let me get his name. All right, so Daniel Nenesaki has joined me in the studio, and then Tony Ma, right, has also joined me in the studio. Good to see you here.
Yeah, good to see you, Tanisha.
Well, first of all, before we even talk about what transpired in court today, let's understand what was communicated to you before you started the entrance exams, and what the response of the Ghana School of Law was after you wrote your exams that has necessitated this court matter.
Okay, so every year when you write the entrance exams, the pass mark as established practice has always been 50%. In fact, most of our colleagues who are now lawyers, and some of them who are even in the law school today, all passed through, some of them through the 50. And I always cite myself an example. This is my third time of writing the examination.
Okay. Your third time?
Three times,
okay.
Yes. And any time I get 49, 49-1, 49-1, and this is the time I cross the 50% mark. So it is an established practice, and every student knows. In fact, the legendary Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman was on tape saying that if you even get 49.99%, you're not going to get an admission until you get 50.
Okay.
The former CJ, Madam Sophia Kufu, yes, has said the same thing, reiterated that for you to get to the law school, you need to score a cumulative record of 50 in examination. And so that has been a settled practice. So this year, we wrote the examination, and surprisingly, they brought 790 students named that those are the students who have passed the examination. Ordinarily, they would have published the results of all students, but this time they published just the 790. So upon incessant pressure on the Ghana School of Law to release the results of all students, that's where we got to realize that when they released the results, then we realized that, oh, it's not only 790, but actually 1,289 students really crossed the 50% mark.
Okay, but institutions sometimes do make amends to some of the requirements and stuff like that. That's why I want you to tell me, as you were entering in the exams hall to write the exams, that's exactly what the Ghana School of Law told you.
Exactly.
That if you get 49.99, you are not getting, unless you cross the 50% mark,
Yes,
right?
please. Yes.
All right, so go ahead.
And it was even during the time of Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman that that we wrote our examination. So that is 50% that we know.
Okay.
Then we wrote the exams. Then, like I said, the results came out. Then we realized that 1,289 students actually crossed the mark.
Okay.
But 790 was published, leaving out 499 students.
Okay.
Then we were surprised only for us to see a notice, right? A new notice now telling us that for you to pass the Ghana School of Law, you need to get 50% in Section A and 50% in Section B. And this new rule was not communicated to us at the time of writing the exam.
Okay.
That is the epitome of our argument.
Okay.
That the new rule cannot be in somebody's pocket, with all due respect.
Yeah.
Then will be shown to our face when the results are out. That if the new rule was in existence before the exam, we wouldn't have even complained, but it was not in existence. Then we said, no, that is unfair, because for you to have pulled the new rule after we have passed the examination amounts to, a retrospective law, which is not, allowed in our constitution.
Okay.
And that's where the agitation started, and that's where we are now.
Okay. So today, Parliament has directed the Ghana Legal Council, General Legal Council, to actually admit you and your colleagues who wrote the exams but were not admitted and crossed the 50% threshold. That should come to you as good news.
Yeah, it is a good news. It is so much of a good news, and we thank Parliament. We are most grateful for Parliament. From day one, we petitioned Parliament. As a matter of fact, we petitioned the Speaker of Parliament is one of the people that we petitioned from the beginning of this whole fight, and we've been having so much a very high expectation of them. And today, they've actually passed a resolution unanimously directing the GLC to admit us. We are most grateful. However, we have a case in court. And the fact that Parliament has passed a resolution is a sign that the entire nation is not happy with whatever is going on. That is the unlawful denial of admission to the 499 students who, out of hard work, passed their entrance exams. Because Parliament, 175 members of Parliament represent 175 constituencies in Ghana, and they are the people's representation. So if unanimously they all come together to say that GLC, what you are doing is wrong, and we therefore direct that you do the right thing, I think the whole Ghana has spoken, and we will plead with GLC to listen this time round to what Parliament is saying. Okay,
but today in court, the interlocutory injunction case was adjourned to November 9, right?
Yeah.
What exactly are you demanding from court?
Okay, so we went to court on two issues. First is the substantive case. the main case is that we passed per the criteria that they published in the 14th May daily graphic.
Okay.
And subsequently, when the results were released, they changed the criteria. And we all know that laws don't have retrospective effects.
Yeah.
And therefore, you cannot let somebody go and write exams, and after the results are published, you now bring the rules that you think govern that particular examination.
Yeah.
So that is what we are challenging. We are asking for a certiorari for the court to quash that particular notice, that decision taken by GLC. GLC is a body established by statute, and they are guided, they are governed by the Constitution, Article 23. Article 296, they are not supposed to even take decision. Their discretion must be exercised not in an arbitrary manner. It must not be capricious. So we are asking the court that if what they are doing is unlawful, what they are doing is unreasonable, then the court should take steps to quash it. The second one has to do with the injunction. You know, as we are battling this whole thing, okay, let me add to the first one.
Okay.
You know, this is also against our rights. We felt like we have been discriminated against, which is against Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution. We also believe that they are infringing on our right to education. So we went to court on these particular grounds. Now, we're also asking the court to injunct them from continuing the unlawful denial of admission to the students. In effect, what it means is that they should admit us. Let us run with our colleagues. Let us start lectures with our colleagues. When the final or when the substantive case is finally determined and they find out that, okay, per our evidences, or the court finds out that per our evidence and whatever we have provided is we are not able to prove our case in court and we lose the case, they have the right to dismiss us. We will forfeit our fees that we've paid and we will forfeit everything.
Okay.
So that is what we are asking the court. The court should injunct, the court should restrain them from continuing the unlawful denial of admission, which means they should grant us admission.
Okay.
If the court finds our arguments to be very effective and very right, then the court has to restrain them and the court has to impress upon them to admit us with immediate effect.
Okay, so bringing in Parliament also makes it a bit easier for you, because this will mean that you may even get admission even before the court matter ends. But I mean, giving a directive is one thing, and also heeding to that directive is another. In the event that the General Legal Counsel does not heed to Parliament's advice, you are in court already. I'm not preempting, but if the court matter also fails, what other avenues do you have to seek redress? And are you willing to, put them in motion?
I am of the strong conviction that Parliament directive will be taken by the GLC. GLC is a creature of Parliament.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've heard a lot of arguments when Parliament issued that directive that they cannot, people are saying they cannot order GLC, but GLC is a creature of Parliament. So Parliament, by way, can, direct its own creation.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that we have a lot, people, initially when we started, we heard in other circles that, these are students in no less than they'll back down, let them make noise. But we want to assure the Ghanaian populace that once our rights are being trampled upon, we have plans to roll out to the end of the year, to even begin the next year, until the following academic year. Until our issues are resolved, we are not stopping anything. We have beautiful plans, but we can't put them out. We all together with us. I mean, we have planned already. If the court fails out, what do? We have plans instead. We have planned. We have planned that we roll about. We wouldn't put them out now. But we have the strong, like I'm saying, it would be bizarre and unreasonable and, tantamount to, with all due respect, absurdity that everybody is talking to you and you hear. But I respectfully, like I'm saying, the GLC, if you look at the people in the GLC, these are distinguished justices of the Supreme Court and an Attorney General and eminent judges and people with experience and high repute. And we believe that they will not deliberately decide to put 499 Ghanaians' life into jeopardy. I'm very clear on that. And that something might probably have gone wrong.
Okay.
And everybody's drawing their attention to it. We've drawn their attention to it. Parliament has now drawn their attention to it. Everybody's speaking. I'm sure they will hear it.
Let me bring you back to what happened in court today. I mean, what really transpired before it was adjourned, or the matter was not heard at all?
Okay, so what happened is that we were in court. The GLC filed their response today. We were served with their response only this morning in court. Attorney General didn't file anything. So Attorney General came to court and pleaded for an adjournment. Our lawyer agreed to it, and the case has been adjourned to the 9th of November. And let me add something to what my brother said concerning, in 2018, Parliament directed the GLC to bring a regulation to Parliament so that the faculties will run the professional law course. GLC disobeyed. The same Parliament directed Parliament to reduce the fee for marking, for calling for a remarking in the School of Law from 3,000 to 500.
Yeah.
So now nothing has been done about it.
Okay.
We are calling on GLC to do the needful. They are a body made up of human beings. They are prone to mistakes. And we know anybody can make mistake. The whole Ghana is talking and the whole world is talking. At least at a point in time, let us listen to our conscience and do the needful.
Now, you'll be going back to court on November 9.
Yeah.
What are your expectations after you go to appear before court on the 9th November?
We can only hope for the best. I mean, these are kids. You have an issue. You serve almost everybody in the country to speak on your behalf. They kept to be quiet. We sent the case to court. You can only be hopeful and have confidence in the justice system that the court will bring our issues to bear and bring justice to bear. We know that we have a good case. We know we have a good case. And they know they have a bad case.
Okay.
So we are very, very confident that the court will give us justice. Yes, the court will give us justice.
Okay. So, and of course, you've also mentioned the fact that everybody is talking, everybody is asking Ghana General Legal Counsel to do the needful, and they must listen. And that this means that there's a certain importance attached to opening up the law school for everybody to have access to it. Do you know how much of importance that is?
You see, law is one of the areas that affects every area of society. It affects every area. Like any area you find yourself, you need law to probably navigate your way through. Law and medicine, I think in every country, they place this kind of priority to it. If you look at our population right now and our lawyer
ratio, lawyer to citizen ratio,
it is very bad. Actually, it's very, very, very bad. And I personally, GLC has not spoken, the law school has not spoken. I don't know the mindset behind the suppression of legal education in Ghana. They should come out to tell us something. But what the president said, that we are just victims of lack of space. To me, with all due respect, it didn't go down well with me. I am not happy with it. We are renting a facility or building a facility that will contain 499 or 2,000 law students. It's not above Ghana. It is not above Ghana. And we shouldn't make it, it is not an excuse that we should say lack of space, 2,000 law students should be intentionally failed because and the president made us aware that we are just victims, like our predecessors. We are just being vocal. We are not just being vocal. We are tired. Everybody is talking because parents are tired. They spend so much money on educating, on sending their children their work through LLB level, and they get the LLB, and you begin to harass them, frustrate them, take them through sometimes how you study to go and write entrance exams
is very, very, very something. And you go through and somebody sits somewhere and intentionally fails you. You know, previous years, they are not privy to some of these results that we were privy to. So they don't even know that they made the mark or they don't make the mark. Even though they published it, you realize that you have 49, 48, 49, 14, because they put all of them in that bracket. And because they let them unconstitutionally sign an undertaking that you can't challenge your results, they are not also able to challenge their results. But I am telling you, all these people who have written like me, this is my first time, but those who have written like 5 times, 6 times, if we were to remark their first script, you realize that they have passed. You understand it? So everybody is talking because everybody is tired. They have spent so much in going through the LLB level, and we must not punish them. It is not a sin to be a Ghanaian law student.
Let me add that it is even very sad that Ghanaians will now travel to countries like Sierra Leone or Gambia to go and learn law.
Now Nigeria. Countries
that used to come to our country and borrow judges to be their chief justices we are now going to them to learn law. It's not good. Meanwhile, we can easily resolve this problem. And I'm told that when you go to these countries, it's some structure that is there for them to be educated. And we have structures in this country. And this no space syndrome can easily be resolved. Look, it is Nkrumah way back that built the law school for a population that was not even up to 10 million. We are 30 million plus.
30.8 million.
And we are still holding this small law school. Why are we not allowing the faculties who have the capacity to run this law school to run? If they've trained us for 3 years, 4 years through LLB, what holds them back for training us for professional course? And then allowing everybody to write the national bar exams so that when you pass, you become a lawyer. I don't think this is a difficult thing for us as a nation to do. I am of the conviction that I think some people want to hold on and then that entrench, this is the law. But you see, like my brother said, every facet of life now leads law. So imagine if all of us, 30.8 million Ghanaians, are all lawyers. We would have done some of the things rightly. And free us from some of these things we go through.
So this is a conversation that we'll never stop having. We'll keep having this conversation until we see some positive or changes in what's happening at the law school. But I want to wish you well with your case, and on November 9 as you go to court. So Daniel Nemesaki is a convener for the group, and Tony Ba is also a member of the aggrieved law students. I'm grateful for your time. Definitely, I'll be there with you. Now, confusion has erupted at Juaben in the Ashanti region as assembly members refuse to participate in the confirmation of Alex Safo Kantanka as municipal chief executive. 20 out of 26 assembly members are boycotting Friday's election. They claim the deployment of police and military personnel to the venue of the polls is intended to intimidate assembly members. Assembly member for Bomfa Ahimbronom, Prince Opon Checheku, speaks for the agitated assembly members.
Look at us, unarmed. Just a confirmation of a nominee, confirmation of a nominee, not general elections. And you call 40 police and 50 armed military men? This is uncalled for. This is undemocratic. And we cannot risk our lives. We have families. We are not paid assembly members. So we cannot risk our lives and go to the center to vote. Our lives are in danger. Our friends from the media, today, we are very sad, and we are calling off the meeting that we are not, I repeat, we are not going to take part in any elections of a nominee. I don't know why somebody's nomination should cost my life.
What's your fear? What's your fear?
We have several incidents, and you are aware. We are not going far. We are not going far. Just look at close by. That is Kumewu. Elected MP, invited, was not allowed to enter. members were denied access to the place because police did not permit them to enter the premise. Twice bitten, once shy. We have samples of what evidences, and we will not, I repeat, we will not go to the place and get ourselves in trouble.
So you see the high number of police military presence as a form of intimidation?
It is more than intimidation, because 26 assembly members confirming just a president's nominee, MCE, and not parliamentary elections. I'm asking you, when they were doing the primaries for the party primaries, where a whole constituency was involved, how many policemen were in the vicinity?
Let's now cross over to the Ashanti region, where residents have massed up at the entrance of the Juaben Palace as the chief of Juaben, Dasibro Tosrebo, meets assembly members. My colleague Nanaya Ojima is our man on the ground for us. Nanaya Ojima, help us understand what sparked the confusion.
So at the moment, there are some assembly members within Juaben Circuit Court, and we understand that the election is ongoing. So after the meeting with the Juaben chief, which involved 26 of the assembly members, after the meeting, they were asked whether the assembly members are willing to continue with the election. 20 of them refused to go ahead with the election, remaining 6 of them who believe that today the election must come off. So the 20 who were
Jima is in the Ashanti region. All right, Nana Ojima is back.
Hello, Aisha.
Nana Ojima.
Yes, so the 20 who were not in support of the election being held today moved out of the chief's palace. Immediately they moved out, we realized the number of policemen arriving in 2 different vehicles, about 30 in number, and surrounded the chief's palace. Later, of the chief's palace, a number of these assembly members who decided to stay in the meeting or who remained in the chief's palace after the meeting, the chief's palace into the circuit court, which is located about 10 or 15 meters away from the chief's palace. And we understand that the meeting is being held, or the election is being held within the circuit court. Some of the assembly members are agitated. In fact, the police have surrounded the area and have refused the media entry into the circuit. The meeting, Mr. Gallo Mohammed, who will be explaining to us what exactly transpired within the meeting and why the election is being held within the circuit court. Mr. Gallo Mohammed, we know that Gallo Emmanuel, we know that you decided not to go ahead with the election. What informed your decision to boycott the election, even after the press conference?
It is not my decision, but the decision of the assembly members, because we were called to the nice palace, Dasebre, and that he asked us the reason why we did not come to him, but rather decided to go on with the press conference. We made him to understand that we were under too much pressure because 4 armored cars, 2 policemen, 2 police cars. The armored car was with over 40 policemen. So we think that we are not too safe, and that the only way that we will be okay is to let the whole world understand what is going on. So Nana came there in person to let us understand that, my children, I'm pleading with you, come to the palace, which we respected the view of Nana, went to the palace. Then he had a lot of discussions with us. He made us to understand that, in fact, he is not too comfortable about whatever that is going on. So after the deliberation, he asked us, how many of you want the elections to go on? Which 8 of us, which I'm part of the 8, said we are okay if we can go on. After his plead with the members, then 80 members said no, and majority carried the votes. So he said, if this is your view, then I'll ask you to leave my palace, which we have done that. Later on, did we got to know that 6 of assembly members, which 4 are government appointees, 2 elected members are in the circuit court as we speak now. And for us to tell exactly what is going on, we don't know. But just a while ago, we've seen men carrying the presiding, the coordinating director, who is the secretary to the assembly, to the premises where the men, where the assembly members are as we speak now. That is the 6 of the assembly members. So we don't know actually what is going on, but we anticipate that maybe 6 to do the voting for the 26th.
Now, we saw the EC executives also drive in there. Doesn't that suggest that the election is going on?
That is why, that is the reason why we are saying that we think that maybe the elections will go on with the 6 people, because a while ago we've seen the EC driving to the palace with 2 of their cars. So that is what we are all witnessing now. But the surprising thing is that when the media wanted to interview us, I was surprised to see the policemen preventing the media from, having the interviews with us. And when the media asked the policeman, they said to us that, or they said to the media that indeed it is instruction from above that no media person should grant interview here, which to me, if this is the way that we are sending our democracy to, then it is very dangerous for this country of ours. And well, let's see what happens. To me, I think we are not safe. To me, I think it's dangerous. To me, I think we are in a very dangerous situation as we speak now.
So the 2 vehicles, that pickup vehicles that just drove by, are the vehicles in which the electoral commissioners drove in here. Now, Mr. Gallo, I'm not done with you yet. Now, if the election should be done in there and the nominee confirmed, what is the next line of action for you as assembly members who decided not to action?
The good thing is that we have a leader who is a presiding member of the assembly. But common sense will tell you that if indeed we have 26 people as assembly members and 6 are going to take the for the 26th of us, and that I don't know how this assembly can be moved and run. Because if even we are coming for assembly members, we need 18 members to be present. So if indeed 6 are going to decide for then indeed it's dangerous. So for now, there's nothing that I can say. I have least to say, and the least is that we leave it to the laws of this nation of ours. We leave it to the viewers of this this program. We leave it to the people of Ghana. If indeed this is the way we want our democracy to go, then it is up to us as a country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gallo. So even though some of the officials of the nation have been able to leave the palace into the assembly, that's the municipal chief, the assembly members who decided to stay behind are still within the circuit court. Now it is unclear what went on or what is going on within the courts now. But the aggrieved assembly members believe that the elections are being conducted within the circuit court. Now the police are still on the ground, heavy police presence here. I can count more than 30 policemen who drove in ago, about 40 minutes ago. So it's unclear, but by close of day, we'll be able to of what went on within the circuit court.
Events at the Juaben Palace for us. We understand there's confusion there with the confirmation of the MMDCEs, and so we'll be bringing you updates of what really transpired and what caused this chaos at the Juaben Palace, and then we'll be bringing you all of that in our subsequent bulletins. But we're still live on the polls, and you know you can also join the conversation via all our social media handles at JoyNews on TV. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. My own personal handle is at the Nana Aisha. When I return from this break, we'll be talking about the Ghana Football Association. Premier League, Ghana Premier League has started, and we'll also be talking about the National Science and Maths quiz and give you sights and sounds from all the places that there are contests.
What's up, guys? My name is Mfantsipim, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Welcome back to the Pulse. Now, this afternoon, it was a smooth sail for Ghana Senior High School in Tamale as it silenced competition from Damango SHS and Bunkrungo SHS in the ongoing preliminary rounds of the 2021 National Science and Maths quiz. With 49 points at the end of the contest, they sealed a spot for themselves in the 1/8 stage with no resistance from their contenders who were trailing them with 11 and 9 points. For the Ghanaians, this will be the year they lift the trophy. Manok Ranting has more.
The tradition of excellence. Great Ghana school. Learners today, leaders tomorrow.
Oh, indeed, they say they are learners today and leaders tomorrow. We're looking to see if indeed they are able to lead in Kumasi. For here in Tamale, though, they have led their contest, and at the end of 5 competitive rounds, they came up tops with 49 points. And of course, their competitors at distant second with 11 points. There were really no match for them. Congratulations, guys. How does it feel?
Loud.
Are you not happy to have won the contest?
I'm very, very happy for winning this contest.
So how does it feel? I mean, you're on stage and you are getting all the answers correct and your folks were cheering you on. It was like you are the Superman of the school.
No, this is not anything about super. Okay. Like, it's just dedication. So we try our best and we give what we know, and God will do the rest.
And God will do the rest. So, somebody will say, well, your contest with Bunkpurugu and, was not so much of a contest. Damango, it's just, 11 points, 9 points. Like, it's not really a contest. If you had met, for instance, St. Francis Xavier or Notre Dame, maybe you would not have made it. Do you believe that?
No, this is not true.
Never. They can't make it.
They can't make it. Why?
Because we are prepared to the teeth. We are actually armed to the teeth, and we are coming to win this contest. This year is for Ghana's and we are going to make it to the final. Just watch out. No other school in the north, even the whole Ghana can compete. Just watch out. We are coming in with strong.
They say no other school in Ghana. They say no other school in Ghana can beat them. Presec Legon is defending champions. They won in Accra. They beat all the schools in Accra, and they are regional champions in Accra. They are coming to Kumasi, and God knows what. If you are paired with them in your first contest, are you not coming back home?
They should forget our team. Looking at the way we are going, we are moving with the contest. No one can no one can beat us. The way we are beating the people, we can really beat them to the national level.
This year is Ghana school. Whether you like it or not, it's Ghana school. No matter the situation, it's Ghana school. Everywhere you go, it's Ghana school. Ghana school all the way. Ghana school.
I want to hear the girls. They are the back. The ladies should come. Come, let's talk. What's your name?
My name is Abukari Salma.
Abukari Salma. Weren't you scared that you're not going to have made it today?
No, we are not scared. Everything, we will fight them.
You fight them?
Yes.
Are you fighting them with cutlasses or guns, or what are you fighting them with?
Weapons, more than that, nuclear atoms.
You are fighting them with nuclear atoms?
Yes.
Hey, but is that not dangerous? You are coming to do small competition, you are doing nuclear atoms.
Yes, because when they come to us, we want them to fear us. They cannot even come near us.
Okay. So you want them to fear you?
Yes.
Great Ghana school. Great Ghana school.
The tradition of excellence.
Great Ghana school.
Learners today, leaders tomorrow.
I have to get myself one of the nuclear atoms. Manal Kranti joins us from Tamale with updates. Manal, there are 2 more contests in the northern zone today. Has the second contest started?
Well, Aisha, a lot more atomic bombs are being released here in Tamale because in the past two contests, we've seen two really high scores. The immediate past contest featured Notre Dame Senior High School.
All right, so Manuel Kranting there, he's in Tamale for us, monitoring the National Science and Maths Quiz contest there. If we get him back, he will tell us more about the second contest. But we'll move to the central region where Mfantsipim School has qualified in the elimination stages after thrashing Agri Memorial SHS and TI Maths, boxing at the ongoing National Science and Maths Quiz Championship. At the end of the contest, Mfantsipim School had 69 points, Agri Memorial SHS had 36 points, and TI Maths boxing 23 points. The Central Region-based school has put up a spectacular performance throughout the regional qualification contest and the main championship this year. But the biggest challenge will now be at the 1/8 stage when the seeded schools considered as NSMQ giants join the championship. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is in the Central Region. He joins me with more. As always, the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service. And we'll tell you more about that. But Maxwell has put together this report.
Once a time, Kenya was a bochobo, he was a Quadango, far away. Once a time, Bismarck was a bochobo, he was a Quadango, far away. Far away, far away, far away, far away, far away. He was a Quadango, far away. For all the saints who from their labors
Mfantsipim School has qualified to the 1/8 stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz. They came into this contest as the regional champions, and they've indeed asserted their dominance, their academic dominance here in the Central Region. They've won with the biggest and the highest points that we have seen in the regional competition, and they are promising that at the 1/8 stage we're going to see more. Let's speak to the contestants. Let's find out from them what this victory means to them.
It feels good. Every victory feels good, so it's a good feeling to have won this contest. Yeah.
In 2019 and 2020, we didn't see a lot from Mfantsipim School. What should people expect from? We saw you in the regionals, and it looks like things have not changed. The quality is still, is still what we're seeing. What should we expect?
We are going to take every contest one by one, and let's see what happens, because all our hopes are on God. So we cannot speak at the moment, but let's just watch out for our contest, because we are going to try our best in our contest.
It looks like Butcher is destroying everything that it comes across.
You say so?
That's what is happening. We saw you in the regionals, and now we're seeing you in the main competition as well, and you're sticking to the standards.
Yes, we would want to say that this is the standard. We have always been expecting the standard year in, year out, but unfortunately, some years past it has not been so. But we are very much on course to doing better this year, and God being our help, we will do it.
So we should expect more in the 1/8 stage in Kumasi. We've seen you in Kumasi.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So you just had the coordinator for Mfantsipim School.
Let's say designer.
Let's now go back to Tamale, where Manuel Kranting is pitching camp for us. He will be telling us more about the second contest in Tamale. Manuel, you were telling me about the second contest.
Yes, Aisha, I was telling you about the fact that there are more atomic bombs that have been recorded this afternoon here in Tamale. So before the very final contest that featured Tamale Senior High School, everybody thought that Notre Dame Senior High School was getting the day's highest score of 69 points. 69 good points. Well, at the end of the very final contest, which featured Tamale Senior High School, it had scored 79 points, just 1 point shy of the dreaded 80 points that has been the reserve of NSMQ gurus like Presec Legon and then, of course, Prempeh College. Well, this afternoon, the guys from Tamale Senior High School say they are poised for wonders in the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be specific, when they go for the 1-8 stage. I've been speaking to the girls from St. Francis Girls of Assisi, and they've been telling me that even though they scored 29 points at a distant second to Tamale Senior High School, which you can see a lot of them lined up behind me. They say they are still hopeful that they may be one of the 15 called and chosen high-scoring losing schools that will make it into the 1-8 stage. Well, with all of that, it's time to at least hear from the people who now can confidently refer to themselves as the bona fide champions of the Northern Zone. This is because, first of all, they won the Northern Zonal Championship earlier in May, and now they have scored the highest set of points in the preliminary stage. I mean, it can't get any better than that. Tamasco. The Lions. Tamasco. The Lions. Tamasco. The Lions. Oh, indeed. And I hear a lot of the Lions roaring now. I don't want to get, devoid by the Lions. But how does it feel? You don't seem to have size in the northern region. Do you have any size here?
No size. Like you yourself, when you see Abi, there's no size. Like this one is just a small thing. This one is even small. Okay. Kumasi will see show.
This show is small.
Like this one is just small. No, this is just the beginning. Even the regional championship, everything small. Like seriously. No, Anya Kalara. Like I'm not seriously. No, I'm serious. Wallahi tallahi, you see show. Serious.
So we see show.
You see show.
Oh, no, but you see, this is not the first time that Tamasco is, for instance, pulling its weight in the qualifiers. It's a thing you do almost always in the Northern Zone. You seem to be the champion. Let me speak to the bandana guy. They say that Igbo is Shotana. Igbo don't. Okay, let me speak to you. They say Igbo don't have size in the Northern region, correct?
No, we don't have size. We are always the best. It is written. The people know that in the Northern region we are the Northern Light. So no matter we want to face Presec, Prempeh College, I decided all of them. When we go beat all of them, Kumasi.
And so, all right, go ahead, cool down. So the guys from Presec, from Addis Ababa, and then Prempeh College, they now are endangered species because the lions here say they want to devour them.
Okay. If they want, they should come today. Today. If they want, they should come today.
Who are you actually talking about? Who should come?
Them, like those who claim they are big schools. Them, like
so all of them should join at this school Presec. All of them should join one team.
Yes, we are ready for them. We are just ready. We beat them. Yes.
I want to hear some of the ladies because it's always like the guys are the ones making noise. Do you really believe that the things that your guys are saying? They say you don't have size in the country.
Yeah, we believe in Tamasco. Tamasco, they can do much and much better. This one is just common this. If we go to Accra, we'll do more than that.
What about you? Is it not just talk that you are talking? Is it not just talk?
No, this is not a talk. You saw what we did. Look at the gap. Look at the gap. The second school. Look at the gap we gave them. Now think of the first. The whole northern sector. Look, we take it, and the whole place. So the whole Ghana. What if we meet Prempeh and Co? What will we do to them? We'll smash them. We'll smash them.
Well, it's getting violent and it's getting tensions here in Tamale. Aisha, you can see and feel the euphoria even in the studio, I must assume. For the guys here in Tamale, it's not about the name of the school. It is about what you can present and what you can do on stage. Well, today they're proving that indeed they can do a lot of stuff on stage. 79 points at the end of 5 competitive rounds. That is not something that comes by any day. And so maybe, just maybe, Presec, Prempeh, at this school, Accra Academy, and all of the other schools that they've been mentioning, you want to watch out for them because Lions, are you giving up anytime soon? Oh, are you giving up anytime soon? Okay, Tamasco. Tamasco. Please, that's all we have from the Lions here in Tamale. Aisha, back to you in the studio.
I didn't expect anything less than this from the school that produced the Vice President Dr. Baumia, people like Professor Alavi, Dr. Dominic Ayene, Kojo Bonsu, and the like. So yes, of course, they are indeed the Lions. We'll take a break on the polls, but of course, as always, the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with APSA Ghana. The broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by Cowbell, Papas, Pizza, Ace Medical Insurance, Tampico, DBS Industries, and Dole Yogurt. When we're back from this break, we'll be going into the Ghana Football Association and the start of the Ghana Premier League and matters arising. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Lexus Bill, host of Drive Time on Joy 99.7 FM. Listen, you don't have to worry if you miss Drive Time or Personality Profile. It's going to be live on our podcast page. Just log on to www.myjoyonline.com/podcast. You can listen to Drive Time, Personality Profile, and any other of your favorite shows on Joy FM on that page. You don't have to miss a show at all. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Welcome back to the polls. Now, a simple quarrel with a neighbor resulted in a serious allegation that she is a witch. Although a ritual declared her not guilty of being a witch, her accuser still chopped off her hand and fled. This is the story of Asibi, a woman in the Northeast region who is pleading with the Ghana Police Service to give her justice. Jojo Kobina brings you a snippet of his latest documentary, Finding the Witch Hunters.
A lady picked a quarrel with me, and her son accused me of being a witch. Later, the people in the village took me to the Gambaga witch camp. They performed rituals which showed I was not a witch, so I came back to the village. The boy came to attack me at home. He was aiming for my neck, but I blocked it with my hand, and he chopped it off. He fled. And to date, the police say they can't find him. I was home alone. I was cooking when someone charged at me. He was aiming for my neck, but I saw it fast enough and instinctively blocked it with my hand. So my hand got chopped off.
That is the story of Asibi Dut, a 40-year-old woman who is a resident of Sakogu in the northeast region of Ghana. For the past 8 years, she's been living without one hand. Her woes started when a young man accused her of being a witch. Asibi said a lady in her community picked a quarrel with her, and subsequently, the lady's son accused her of being a witch. Asibi took the accusation lightly, but realized the seriousness of the allegation when people in the community sent her to the witch camp in Gambaga to test whether she was a witch or not. The way a chicken died would determine her fate and the entire course of her life. In northern Ghana, when you are accused of witchcraft, you have to bear the full cost of the ritual. So Asibi took care of the full cost, and the ritual confirmed that she was not guilty.
I was cleared of witchcraft allegations. The fowl said I was not guilty. The chief then asked me to go back to Sakogu and ordered that we use dialogue to settle our differences.
Asibi, who was 8 months pregnant, said she thought she was free, but the young man had other plans.
I was home alone. I was cooking when someone charged at me. He was aiming for my neck. He tried to cut it off with a machete, but I saw it fast enough and instinctively blocked it with my hand. So my hand got chopped off. He then fled. To date, the police say they can't find him.
Asibi was left broken.
As soon as we say you are a witch, even small children can beat you. They can do anything to you, nobody cares.
She had now mastered ways of living independently and taking care of her son. Her husband also traveled to southern Ghana and never gets in touch with her. She feels pains when the remaining hand is not covered. She cooks and does many other chores with one hand. She feels the young man who chopped off her hand had stolen her joy in life.
I
am really pained. I am hurt. Now I can't do anything. And the boy who did this to me is free.
Asibi is yearning for two things: money to start her own business, and also for the police to track down the perpetrator who is still on the run.
Welcome back. This evening, Accra Lions will welcome Elmina Sharks to the Accra Sports Stadium, where the 2021-2022 Football League season in Ghana will kick off. It will be another season of improvement in football in Ghana. The Football Association and the Ghana League Clubs Association have been working to improve the game in Ghana to get the attention of many Ghanaians. If successfully done, it could be an avenue for employment for many young Ghanaians, directly and indirectly. It can significantly transform the economy as well. Europe has done it. Africa can do it too.
My colleagues, I'm extremely excited about the fact that for the first time in many years, our football industry has been able to fully complete a full football season without much challenges. What do I mean by this? For the first time in many years, all competitions of our football association and all regional competitions have been able to go through successfully. We should be proud of our hard work. Again, I'm extremely happy of the return of juvenile football after so many years. As we get ready into the new season, it's so important that we all get ourselves ready for the demands of our new season. Like I said earlier, we are engaging government to ensure that we have more fans accessing our games. But one of the key requirements, my colleagues, will be the need for all of us to ensure that we are vaccinated to be able to access football. So what that means is that all our players and staff will be vaccinated. Indeed, that process has started. And all football fans who would want to access our football games live at the various stadia must prove that they have received vaccination.
This season promises to be a more exciting one. In the studio, he will join us via Zoom, actually, Hans Mensah Ando, to do some analysis of what has happened. Hans, from the new things we've seen, what should we expect in this new season?
Aisha, just in terms of the football itself, we can expect a lot of excitement. The buzz that we saw around the Ghana Premier League, also the buzz we've seen, even with Accra Heart of Folks campaign in the Africa Interclub competition, and what we've seen of the Division 1 Super League tells us that this promises really to be an exciting season. We heard Keto Kweku mentioning that for the first time in many years, we've been able to complete a full season, which is true. And so we want to carry the momentum forward and try to get the local game to the next level. There's been disruptions to the league or the Ghanaian football season for one reason or the other over the last few years. The last of them being the announced documentary, which resulted in the institution of the normalization committee. So now we can say that football is well and truly back. We've seen through one full season. On to the next one. Fans are excited. The clubs are excited. Of course, we've got a competition bedeviled with its own challenges, but we can look forward to an exciting competition, Aisha.
So is this something that was discussed with Galka? Did they consult Galka before this?
My checks with a few club officials suggest that, well, it was discussed, but not as extensively as they would have wanted. And so it appears it is not, a directive that is being enforced, as in that clubs are not under any obligation to sort of enforce this, which for me goes contrary to what we heard Keto Kweku saying and what has been widely reported. But for now, we are going to go by what the president of the Ghana Football Association has said. And that, as a matter of fact, he's been explicit about that. It is only fans who have been fully vaccinated who are going to be allowed into football match venues for the 2021-2022 football season.
Now, there's mixed reactions to this whole thing about no vaccination, no football. I'll come back and ask you what you make of this decision yourself. Someone who's been following football, will this affect the Premier League? Because we're looking for some economic gains, some employment gains and all of that. But if you're asking people not to come because they're not vaccinated, there must be implications as well. But first, let's look at the new things to expect. And they are coming right on your screens right now. I'll be sharing with you some of the new things there. If you can put it there for me. No vaccination, no entry policy. GFA introduces this. It says it is a requirement for all fans attending games age 12 or older. So if you are from age 12 and above, if you're not vaccinated, but the age 12 in Ghana, we are not vaccinating children. So that's also an issue that I'm going to come to you hands on to find out, because for spectators below age 12, they say they will be mandated to show proof of a negative rapid test from at least 48 hours before a match day. In Ghana, we are not vaccinating children yet. And it's only the UK that is have plans of that is vaccinating children and having arrangement for those things. But in Ghana here, even the adults are not even done with the vaccination. Now, the GFA has also confirmed that the peg for spectators at games will be increased from 20% to 25% for this season. Okay, so what does this also mean for the GPL? Now, updates on GFA's meeting with Dr. Baumia, who is the Vice President of Ghana. They say interventions needed to develop Ghana football include betting and activities of betting companies in Ghana, official policy to ensure that government supports clubs who represent Ghana in continental competitions, investment in football pitches across the country, financial support to the football industry. Those are a lot of interventions they need. According to Jamal Marabe, the director of marketing for the GFA in mid-August, he revealed that any headline sponsor will be required to pay at least $1 million for Ghana's biggest club competition. What does this also mean for the Ghana Premier League? So, Hans, let me ask you this. These certainly will have implications on the GPL. And again, the issue about age 12 is something that we need to find out, because in Ghana, we all know that children are not being vaccinated.
It's interesting that there is an age limit to this, or there is an age range that they are talking about here, because like you rightly mentioned, we are not vaccinating people from age 12 and below. So it's a bit bizarre. Again, we also know that if you look at the percentage of Ghana's population that has been vaccinated, it's a bit also confusing that we are looking to enforce such a policy, because already we are looking at clubs that are struggling financially, clubs whose main source, or one of the main sources of revenue, has to be gate proceeds, i.e. The fans have to go to the stadium for them to be able to make some money. That money very often is not even enough in the first place. And so if you are going to be limiting the number of people who are going to go to the stadium, first of all, 25% capacity, and in that 25%, you are looking out for only people who have been fully vaccinated or who have had a negative COVID test result in the 48 hours preceding a game. It means that you're only going to reduce the number of people who are going to be in the stadium, and by extension, the amount of money that clubs are going to be making in terms of gate proceeds. That presents its own, set of challenges. Again, the GFA is going to rely heavily on the clubs to enforce this. Now, if I am playing a game at home, somewhere in the Blanc region or somewhere in a region outside Accra where the lenses of the media is not really effective there, how sure can you be that I'm going to prevent my own fans from, one, going to the stadium to support the team, and that, two, I'm going to prevent them from going in and paying money that is going to come to the club. So it's a bit difficult as to how the FA is going to ensure that this is enforced. Aisha.
And the other argument is that, there are people who have not been vaccinated, but it's also no fault of theirs because the country hasn't made vaccines available for them to vaccinate. So, indeed...
Absolutely. And that is why, for me, I think that the FA is going to struggle to enforce this. One, because it's not as if the vaccines are available and people are simply not getting inoculated. They've been unavailable. I understand that now they are available, but even then, you look at the length of time between the first dose and the second dose. We are looking at a period of about 4 to 8 weeks. So you need time for people to get inoculated, and then maybe you can enforce this. But as to how really they are going to enforce this, I'm just waiting to see how they are going to go about, because as of last season, when they had to enforce a 20% capacity, we saw football match venues which were filled to the rafters for certain games. And so I'm just hoping that they will be able to see it through. We'll be able to see it through, great. We don't want to be a country that goes about spreading COVID-19. And so if the FA is really able to enforce it, that is great. But I think it will be a bit disappointing if the word has simply been put out there for the purposes of publicity or for the purposes of making the FA look good, and then at the end of the day, all of these things are not enforced.
We all definitely would wait to see how this goes. Hans Mensah is with Joy Sports. But as the Ghana Premier League begins today, and Heart Sport member Dr. Nyao Tamaklo has been speaking. He expects his club to retain the title they won last season. He has been speaking to George Adu Jr.
So Accra Hearts, the Ghana Premier League champions, were knocked out of the CAF Champions League. They couldn't make it to the group stages after losing out there to Wydad Athletic Club, who have made it to the finals only in 2019, won the competition in 2017, won the Super Cup in 2018, and really have made the semi-finals their doormats, a place where they can go and almost rest. Well, even though a lot of people have been talking about Accra Hearts, there's a growing feeling, an inkling right now that the performance of Accra Hearts indeed truly gives us a picture of where Ghana football is with respect to this. Adriana Stars played against able to survive. They lost by 6-0 again. Accra Hearts 6-1. There is still golfing class between what we're doing here and what the teams who win in Africa do. We're going to have a chat. Of course, Accra Hearts will have another opportunity in the CAF Confederations Cup playoffs. Hopefully, they can make it there and show us what they've got. To have a discussion on where our football is, what we need to do to try and bring it up. Joining me for this chat is at Accra Hearts, Dr. Nyao Tamaklo, joining me for this discussion. Doctor,
after the third goal,
yeah,
I got alarmed and I quickly accepted the fact that our standards are not good. And the quality of football in Ghana has to be looked at again. Because mind you, Hearts of Folk won the National League.
Yeah.
Now, if I compared when I was a small boy years back, when people like Sike Jamfi and others were playing, they did, to me, a better work. They did a better work because this was during the period of Kwame Nkrumah's rule. And Nkrumah injected a lot of funds into football. And football became the big game, or the biggest game in the country.
Yeah.
Indeed, Nkrumah used to attend football matches very often. I remember in those days we played the Moroccan national team. A club also came from Düsseldorf, Fortuna Düsseldorf.
Oh, Fortuna Düsseldorf.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
They were here.
Wow.
They were here. And I think a club also came from Spain, but I've forgotten the club in particular. We had a club also from Brazil.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
We've played around.
Yeah.
You see? So that will tell you the level of football at that time was very high. And what I remember also was that during Nkrumah's time, the coach who started professional work with the boys in those days, I think came from Sweden. The name was Stroberg or something. And he did a wonderful job, very wonderful job. And I think when he left, that position was taken over by C.K. Jamfi.
Yeah.
And during the time of Nkrumah, we won the African Cup of Nations twice.
Yeah.
Then Nkrumah left. And I remember one interesting thing. Nkrumah was not able to present the cup and the gifts to the boys then. Where it was overthrown around that period.
66.
And I remember Ado Damite, who was once a Black Star captain and a key central defender, who was captain House of Folk for years.
Yeah.
You know, appealed to me when I think Kufuor was in government that we should try and at least honor them before they die. Unfortunately, Ado Damite died a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Now, our third attempt, or our third winning, was under the leadership of General Kutu Achampon. He also put in a lot of money. The state put in a lot of money. And the interest of football grew. I remember very well that the players, after winning the cup, were lifted from the field, from the Accra Sports Stadium, in the helicopter.
Wow. That was big.
To Burma Camp, I'm telling you, to go and see the, what do you call, General Champon.
Wow.
You see, so this tells you how the state has been very eager and involved itself in improving the standards of football in Ghana.
Because but when you say, and I had this discussion with Masih Desai, who said the same thing. He says there's no player at the moment who can produce magic.
Absolutely.
So when you say magic, and to be fair to everyone watching us,
absolutely,
when we say magic, we're talking like Abidi Pele who can
absolutely. These are or Polo.
Or Polo, somebody who can.
Mohamed Polo or Razak.
Razak or Baba Yara.
Or Baba Yara.
People who can.
C.K. Jamfi,
people who can produce magic.
See, Amadou Akuse, all these boys are, they were wonderful. You have to say, I hope the films are there.
Yeah.
The Ghanaians, young boys at that time. I was a small boy, but I remember very well.
Yeah.
These are wonderful footballers. Look, if we come down to one thing that happened when we played House of Folk, during that period, I think I was even in detention. At Champon time, so I remember very well.
Yeah.
Because the noise was so loud that I could hear what was happening in the cell.
Yeah.
The match was played at El Wak, the so-called Miracle of El Wak, with the fearsome fight for House of Folk. I mean, we were down by I think 2 goals.
Yeah.
And they did that magic. So I believe if these boys really love football, then they should show the interest
that they want to play.
But
so there's a little gap here for us now. Administrators want the boys to stay and put their career ahead of everything. The players say they want to be comfortable. And the baseline of everything then becomes the money that administrators will have to put out and push in there. Some administrators, if you look at it, are doing very, very well. They are trying their best to get there. But if you look at the whole scale in terms of all the Ghana Premier League clubs, or you look at clubs in general, there's a big issue of money. Isn't that one of the reasons why these players are going out and wanting to look for greener pastures? Is there anything that infiltrators can do?
Well, many a time I would say they are deceived by the so-called managers. I've seen quite a number of cases in that they are told they will be getting X amount of money.
Extra money, maybe.
Outside.
$1,000 a month.
Exactly. They go there, nothing. But in House of Folk now, we are paying some players more than $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, for sure.
You follow me?
For sure, yeah.
The investment the chairman of the board has made into House of Folk, you have no idea. It's a big investment. As I talk to you now, if you go to Pobiman, what you see there, you won't believe it.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah. The land has been there. We bought it years ago. In fact, we bought it after I left. No. Yes, we bought it after I left as chairman of Accra House of Folk.
No, that's long.
Long ago. And it was lying down there fallow.
Yeah, that's
until
long.
recently we decided to develop it. And work is going. But for the rainfall, which have been disturbing the progress of what you see, that you won't believe it. If you like, you take a short visit to that place and see.
Yes.
And then secondly, we now have our own commercial office. You follow me? Because football really must be commercialized as is done in the civilized countries.
Yeah.
We've got an expert in that. You follow me? And then we are also going to bring down our present secretariat and come out with a 4-story glass house there. It will happen soon. You follow me? Now, so you can see the level of investment that the board chairman has put into this. All he wants, all we want as members of the board or even administrators of House of Folk, supporters, is for the boys to come out with their best. Because they are being careful. I can say here that we don't owe any player as I speak now.
Yeah.
There's no outstanding, what do you call it? Arrears or anything.
Or salaries, whatever.
And when they travel,
Packages,
they are well
whatever.
looked after.
Yeah.
They stay in comfortable hotels. So you see, at times it becomes a big of a problem. What is really happening? Is it because they don't take their time to study? Or maybe lack of proper training? But if you watch the Moroccans, I mean, nobody will tell you that this happened. And they were relaxed. That is what really surprised me.
Yeah, but they have experience. They've been playing this for a long
Exactly.
time.
That's what should, and
They've
one
been
important
together for a long
thing,
time. Yes.
one important, you can say they've been together for a long time.
Yes.
Now, one thing that I think we should have a look at is our league calendar. We are always late. Now, this we have had, I think, about 6 matches.
8 matches.
8 matches.
They even played a competitive game on the Thursday.
Look at that.
Hot game on the Thursday.
Look at
before
that.
they played
Before.
the games.
So you can see that they blend beautifully. So these are some of the things definitely we have to touch on.
So
and I think that in that part, the calendar matter is definitely a responsibility of the FA. They have to look at it.
Yeah.
Because we are the only country that I know in football that we are always late.
Yeah.
Always late. And that affects
of course.
the boys.
Match fitness
Exactly.
and
match fitness.
bringing
and
them up to speed.
Exactly.
See how competitive they can be.
Exactly.
It's clearly a problem because and again, so some were calling for maybe the FA putting together a competition, but that one has its own rules because some clubs may not want to play ahead of the season.
Exactly.
The season is starting, they may not be interested.
But the league itself is the best thing. The
Yes.
league is mandatory, so if you play an opponent, it sharpens your skills and everything.
Yeah. So the design. Doc, everybody watches this Accra Hearts of Oak team, and it is on the lips of everyone that this is a good team Hearts is putting together. I mean, Mohamed Alassan, Robert Addo, Vatau, Radio Vuka, Dechi, Nete, Salif Ibrahim, the players that you have added to it, likes of Salim Adams, Suraj Saidu, Benjamin York. These are fantastic youngsters. the hope for everyone is that Hearts of Oak can keep them for maybe 3 years or 4 years, like Hearts did in the build-up to winning the Champions League in 2000. Now that is the challenge for you.
Yes, it is.
And in this challenge, you have to mix keeping their heads on, keeping them happy, and making sure that they are okay. How are you planning to do this? Because I've spoken to you, I've spoken to quite a number of the board members, and you are clear on a project. How are you hoping to make these boys happy so that they don't leave the club just in it? Already people are worried that, Afutu had gone with the issue of who have loved to see Afutu in the squad, and that no player goes out, and you can have a squad that will be hopefully winning the league, going to Africa, getting knocked out, and finally getting to the job. How is the board hoping to solve this?
Professor, let me talk on Afutu's exit.
Yeah.
Afutu's exit wasn't because the club couldn't meet his demands. Not at all. That was quite a different thing.
Yeah.
Now, the boys we have now, as I said earlier, there are some of them who are making quite a handsome income.
Yeah.
There are some of them. I don't want to mention them here. Now, it's one club that pays 8 footballers regularly.
Yeah.
And all allowances are paid. You see? But for one reason, it comes out outstanding. And he wants some additional money. These are things that can be discussed.
Yeah, there are things that you can discuss because
Yeah,
because your team is good.
Yeah.
And the likelihood that 1 or 2 will come out outstanding is very, very, very high.
Yeah, these are things that can be discussed. If we have to spend millions of dollars to keep him, we shall do that.
Yeah.
And I just heard that one of the players of WAC was bought recently for about
$1.8 million.
When we get to that level, and of course he was an exceptional player. Exceptional player, you can see.
He's banging in goals for them. Yes.
So if we can get such a player amongst us and he wants $1 million, we have to look for it.
Would the board be looking at buying players who have won the Champions League before, or players who have played at that level before, to augment the squad that you have at the moment? I think it all falls into, and maybe give us the reason why Awaku was needed somehow, because of his Africa experience.
Yes.
Somehow that is not coming in.
Exactly.
Would you be tempted to look outside Africa, outside Ghana, to get players who are at that level to beef up what you have?
Yeah, I don't know what we have now. The players we have now, if they are
they're good
trained
enough.
properly, yeah, they are. You see, there are a lot of things that we don't have in this country when it comes to materials, training materials.
Yeah.
We really don't have much. Because some of the balls, when they are kicked, the way they curve into the goal, these are things that are practiced regularly.
Yeah.
They are practiced regularly.
What is your frustration at the Ghana Football Association? We're about to start a league on the 29th of October. That's supposed to be on Friday. This coming Friday, the league is supposed to start. We still do not know about a headline sponsor. We don't know about a title sponsor. That actually means less money for clubs like Accra Hearts of Oak.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
You are playing in the Confederations Cup. Traveling on the African continent itself is very, very complicated before the boys arrive. The kind of money that you have to put in. How frustrated are you that you haven't heard any news of a title sponsor, and maybe some money at least to cushion what you're doing so far?
You are talking about the national team.
Yeah, the national. I'm talking about the
national
Ghana.
football.
I'm talking about Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say that we have a sponsor that has come in with a huge amount, $2 million, that every club is going to get at least some $800,000 or something.
It's a bit disturbing.
Yeah.
Very disturbing. Let me be frank with you. Now, we all had hope that this new administration will be able or will be in position to get investors into the game. I'm always surprised that nothing has come till today. Of course, investors want to make sure that when they put in their money, they can get something after it. They might have watched the level of our football, and they know that we are nowhere success at the moment. They know it. You follow me? So I think the FA itself will have to get up, work seriously now, and that can only happen if they see to good pitches I'm talking about fields.
Yeah.
Most of our fields are useless. So you can see that yesterday it's reflected on the match of the play, because our boys are not used to these things. He might have kicked the ball so slow, but the ball runs faster.
Yeah.
So most of our passes went to the wrong people.
That's right.
You see? So these are the things the FA should have to see to that. The FA also must make sure that structures that are needed to build football in this country are put in place. You see? And they got to go out now seriously to look for investors.
Yeah.
It must be a job that they have to do themselves now. You see, because if they just sit down and they think the investors will come, they will never come.
Yeah.
And that is going to reflect on this new league that we are going to start.
Right.
Well, there's no money.
Yes. Let's just wrap it up, and I'll just touch on a few things. Let's start with Hearts of Oak still have a chance to play in the CAF Confederations Cup group stage. So there's going to be playoffs. I've had a look at the teams in the pots that Hearts are going to play against. Pyramid, JS Kabylie, Al Masry of Egypt, Cotton Sport of Cameroon. I don't know if CS Faxian of Tunisia.
Those are good teams.
The chances that we are playing against the North African side is really high. And if you escape the North African sides, because there's RS Berkane as well, so if you escape the North African side, you are going to play against Cotton Sport du Garoua.
Exactly.
Are you hopeful?
I'm very hopeful. I'm hopeful because we are now going to start the league also.
Okay.
And it is the league this time around will be very competitive. Okay. And that will fine-tune our boys. Okay. We have good footballers. That's what I have no doubt about. We have very good footballers. But they need constant training.
Yeah.
They need constant training.
And competitive matches.
That is the first thing they should know. Competitive matches.
Right.
You see, constant training, competitive matches. For instance, yesterday, I find them also to be too slow. I mean, the Moroccans play the sort of football you see being played lately in England.
Yeah.
Physical, but fast.
Fast. The crosses.
See, fast.
Set pieces.
You see, so I'm
very hopeful that we will do well now.
I'm very, very hopeful that
the league starts.
Will do better.
Yeah, the league starts on Friday. Accra Hearts of Oak are reigning champions of Ghana, and are double champions at that. What are the expectations going into the new season?
Oh, the new league.
Yes, the new Ghana Premier League season.
Oh, the new Ghana Premier League, I can assure you we shall do very well. Very, very well. And we got the team, a very good team. What they need is constant training. And of course, with the league coming now, they will always be on their toes.
Yeah.
And they will come out with better results.
What's the target? Win the Premier League again?
Oh, absolutely. That's our target. And I believe we shall definitely win it. Oh, we got good players. You'll see. When the league starts, you'll see.
Kotoko went to Dubai for pre-season. And they said they are looking very good, and they are looking to take the title away from Hearts of Oak. What's your reply to them?
Oh, well, I know Kotoko very well. I've dealt with some of their past chairmen. What do you call him?
Herbert Mensah.
Oh no, Herbert is recent. I'm talking about BK Bewa and others.
Okay.
You know, Bewa is even younger.
Oh wow.
Nomaku and those days.
Yeah,
Nomaku and then this popular one, I forgot his name.
But things have changed these days, haven't they?
Yeah.
Things have changed.
You see, Kotoko makes a lot of noise. I know Kotoko very well.
Dubai president.
Oh, they make a lot of noise. Look, what Hearts can do, they can do it. I'm telling you.
Sure about that?
I'm positive about that. They know it too. They know it. What is Dubai? Why go and play football in Dubai? What are the gains? And
to
they
give the boys a certain feel.
Third-class clubs and whatnot. They didn't even come out with any convincing victory.
Well, they say it's friendly. They're just
friendly. The same friendly. That all friendly matches are recorded by FIFA.
Yes.
Yes. They are recorded by FIFA.
So hands down, Hearts is winning the league.
Definitely. Definitely. There's no doubt. You see, you later come and tell me that I said so. We have good boys, and I am very hopeful that they will definitely shine.
Are you concerned about the level of officiating in the Ghana Premier League, though? I mean, going into the level
honestly,
of
officiating is a problem, not only in Ghana, but in Africa. It's a big worry. Now, nobody knows exactly what the rules are. Even yesterday.
Yeah, confusing.
Few came.
Little touch.
I mean, you can't believe it. And the worst was what happened at Accra Sports Stadium when we played them. So officiating is a problem on this black continent. And we have to do something about it. And in Ghana here, if the FA fails to handle that properly, it will create a big problem. To create a big problem because people really spend money and then they work hard and they get into a match and the referee just destroys them. That is pathetic. I don't know why the referees do that. Some say they take money. Look, when I was House of Folk chairman, I'll tell you a funny joke. It wasn't a joke, it was written. Yeah. Somebody came and told me, oh, this referee has to be given something. Because the match, but then we were going to play a team called Okwawu United. I said, to hell, if it's not going to be fair, which it should be, let us lose the match and see.
That's where we're on the pulse this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you'll find updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.